My mom makes the world's best tortilla, a succulent, savory, minced meat filling in a crispy, fluffy pie crust, baked to perfection, and then covered in a light sprinkling of au jus. It tastes like Christmas, like home. It's Christmas time, 1983, and I'm 8 years old, and my family is living in Germany. As part of the Canadian Air Force, we've been posted overseas for a 3-year tour. My mom only makes tortilla once a year. The smell of the spiced meats and the baking pastry filling up our small apartment and making us all feel like we're home again. I'm out shopping with my father, and we come upon a large wooden structure that looks like a wildlife viewing platform. A long set of stairs lead up to a deck overlooking the Berlin Wall, a massive concrete barrier that cuts up the middle of the street, splitting a city and a continent in two. There are some people sharing the deck with us, a young German couple, and the man is holding up a baby over his head like it's the Lion King, like he's presenting a newborn monarch. The woman is very excited. She's jumping up and down, and she's waving, and she's pointing and shouting over at the other side of the wall. I can't see what they're so excited about. All I see is high chain link fences, slinky snakes of razor wire, and a few soldiers that stand motionless like little plastic army figures. My father points it out for me with his arm out like a rifle sight, and I see him. There's a man standing far beyond the wall, back past the fences where the guards can't see him, and he's waving back at us. And suddenly I feel like I'm an intruder encroaching on a very private and intimate moment. They're blowing kisses, crying. We watch the man as he walks off down a long street and disappears from sight. And I can't imagine what it would be like to spend Christmas like that, alone, being able to see your family, but not being able to touch them or speak to them. It's Christmas Eve, and the whole family is going to midnight mass. Now, I love midnight mass because when it's over, we get to come home, we get to stay up late, eat my mom's tortilla with au jus. And best of all, I get to open one Christmas present hours before any of my friends get to open theirs. Midnight Mass is led by Father Roy, a French-Canadian Air Force chaplain. I love his voice. It's a deep, thick French accent descendant from Le Coeur de Bois, the runners of the wood who plied the forest through the old forests of Quebec. It pours out of his throat like a mighty river tumbling over rocks and falls. Bonjour, Patrice. Comment ça va? May God be with you. I smell something on his breath. Alcohol. Father Roy loves his red wine, and he would always get a little tipsy for midnight mass. As the service would progress, he'd be sipping from his chalice that holds the blood of Christ, and his Quebecois twang would get thicker and deeper and richer. It's hard to understand, but it's okay. Most of the congregation is German, and he's giving the sermon entirely in Latin. It's deeply hypnotic, lulling us into a meditative spiritual trance. And somewhere in the back of my mind, a thought begins to form, and I have a vision. It's Father Roy. He's in the darkened church after everyone's gone home. He's alone. I see him kneeling at the altar, his robes flowing out around him. He's crying. I cannot allow this vision to come true. I turn to my mom sitting next to me and I say to her, Mom, we have to take Father Roy home with us. Please, 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 please. He can stay in my room. I hit her with the Hail Mary. Mom, I don't want him to be alone. Isn't that what Jesus would do? We all go home together with Father Roy. We eat our tortilla with the au jus. I open my one Christmas present. It's a book outlining all the bold and creative strategies that people have used to escape the Eastern Bloc. Father Roy gets completely hammered. My parents hinting at him to go home, but he just waves them off with, no, more wine, more pie. Eventually, he passes out, his snores filling up our small apartment and filling our heads with thoughts of the Heavenly Father and earplugs. I wake up. It's Christmas morning, and everything is right with the world. There's no fences or guards between me and my family. Father Roy is at the front door. He's preparing to leave. And there's a news story playing on the radio. A man escaped from East Berlin overnight by ramming his car through the gates of Checkpoint Charlie. He survived, and he's spending his Christmas reunited with his family. I give Father Roy a big hug, and I watch him as he walks off down a long street and disappears from sight. My mom still makes her tortilla every year. And for my present, I've asked her to teach me her recipe to ensure the tradition continues. Thank you.